In 1997, I participated in a Reiki weekend, and in this weekend, I had an unprecedented experience. I had never felt that way before. I could connect to people in a way I had never been able to do, and I was 27 years old at the time. I never experienced that much joy, that much inner peace. And I remember I said to myself, if I can feel like this, I am done. Let me feel like this for the rest of my life. There is nothing else I want. It still took 3 years for this seed deep planted inside to start changing my entire life. At the time, I was CEO of a European IT company, and by the year 2000, I said, this is not what I'm going to do with my life. And I decided to let go of this company and start the Sustainable World Project. When we get such a powerful experience, what happens is a very deep longing is beginning. We want more of that. I wanted more of that. And I understand now that this experience I had, I call it a glimpse of the truth. It is a coming home. It is a glimpse of who we truly are. And if you look at our world, you can see we're all in the pursuit of the same thing. We can call it love. We can call it truth. We can call it oneness. And that is the process of awakening. Now, my experience, and you can look for yourself, is that we get these powerful moments, maybe when you were in love, maybe when you were younger and you did something you really enjoyed as a child. But isn't it so that it's difficult to sustain these powerful experiences? So right now where we are in this transition, and I'm gonna describe it in multiple ways in a moment. One way is a transition from egoic consciousness to heart consciousness. And we're not yet able to powerfully sustain living in the heart. So what is the Sustainable World Project? We're talking now about step 1 out of 50, awakening. It is a first glimpse, a first awakening to who you truly are. And then you want more of it. Let's look at this awakening process in some different contexts. Let's start with the Maya calendar. You might have heard of that. You might have heard of the year 2012. This is not a one-time event. What the rich elite has done, they give a spin to good things happening in our world, so it actually triggers your fear. Maybe you heard of the movie 2012, The End of the World. Well, I'm here to tell you that everything that makes you fearful, you can discard it. It is not true. If the ultimate truth is one of oneness, unity, love, interconnection, everything being connected to everything else, then any story which triggers a lower vibration that includes fear, anger, sadness, guilt, shame. It is not true. So the process of awakening is not just 1 year, 1 point. We are in uh, a process for thousands of years of awakening, which you'll see in a moment. And for me, 1997 was that beginning. For you and other people, it might be earlier, later, it doesn't matter. In the year 2000, I made a big decision to spend the rest of my life on seeing how I can contribute to the awakening of people in our world, and that has become the Sustainable World Project. In 2012, when that large period of the Maya calendar ended, I could personally experience two things very clearly. One was I was not really able anymore to watch all these violent movies. And this probably had to do with the opening up of the heart chakra. The fourth chakra, we're in a transition. It's all about love. It's all about experiencing the oneness of life. For me, the first 27 years of my life, I felt very disconnected, alone, separated. And it was an experience of suffering. And I kept on wondering, though this was not conscious, but subconsciously I was holding a question: is this all there is to life? Well, after the Reiki weekend, I knew the answer was no. There is so much more to life than going through the motion. Isn't that good news? There is so much more to life than the mundane, low quality, I would say most of us experience most of the time. So the first thing I experienced was I cannot watch these violent movies anymore. Why do I want to seed my consciousness with all this violence? It is not good for us. The second thing which very clearly changed is how I experienced love shifted from a very personalized, individual, one-on-one, special love, the romantic relationship. It became much more universal. The love I experienced, I started experiencing that for everything: nature, animals, and all the different people around me. I got to realize that we're selling ourselves so short with our strong programming of the romantic relationship one-on-one, and we can experience that quality, that beautiful quality of love with anyone and anything. So what is this awakening all about? In the third dimension, third density, in the state of egoic consciousness is all about I, me, and mine. I want this. This is mine. This is for me. It is a selfish programming. So the awakening, step one, is about people starting to realize that this actually does not give what we're longing for. So when we shift to the fourth dimension, fourth density, we open up the heart chakra, it's becoming an experience of being selfless, service to others, and instead of selfish behavior, which we see in the world, we start seeing a heart-centered behavior. Because in the egoic consciousness, we are identified with painful thoughts and feelings. But when we shift to that higher state of consciousness, we can disidentify, we can see the negative thoughts triggering the negative feelings on the autopilot, because we're not very conscious, we're not aware. Our leadership program is all about becoming self-aware. You can see the thoughts. You become the observer of your thoughts. And when you see the thought, you can disidentify. And then choose to consciously create heart-centered behavior revolving around kindness, appreciation, compassion, forgiveness, humility, understanding, valor. Can you imagine a world where everybody every day is having a behavior from these heart virtues I just mentioned? How would it change the world? How would people think? How would people communicate? How would they act? How would they collaborate? If everybody experiencing that love and that joy and that inner peace. So that is step one, awakening. First you get a glimpse, and now in the remaining steps I'm going to talk about setting up a structure, a system, a support system where through worldwide interactive events we keep on connecting people's hearts. We keep on reminding people of how wonderful you are, how much you're loved, how beautiful you are, and that you have a unique gift. You're here with a purpose, and that the world is literally waiting and in need of your unique gift, your unique contribution. Now let me show you some different ways of understanding this awakening process. And maybe some you know, maybe some you're comfortable with, maybe not. It's all okay. These are just different ways to understand things. And it's completely okay that you have your version. Important is just to understand that we are in a time of awakening where we're moving towards a more sustainable world. A world that works for all people. So let's take a look at this first picture. In the context of the Maya calendar, we see the Great Year Cycle. Now when you do research, you will find out sometimes people say 26,000 years. It's actually a little bit less. You find different numbers. One thing I want to tell you is don't get bugged with timelines, dates, and numbers. This documentary is not about giving you a rigid plan where this is gonna happen at this time, this date. It is to give you a context, and the 50-step plan will evolve as it is unfolding. Some steps might be faster, some steps might be slower, some steps might be different. This is not what is important. What is important is that we unite, we join hands, and we support one another in this awakening process. So when you look at the picture, you see on the left side the yellow dot that is our sun and solar system. And as you can see, we're just coming out of the Iron Age and moving into the Bronze Age. Around the ellipse, you see all the different signs from the zodiac. You see the timelines. So at the picture, you see our sun and solar system in 2015. We're a little bit farther now. And we're moving through the Bronze Age, going towards the Silver Age, and then finally to the Golden Age. The next one is we look at this step 1, awakening, in the context of density, dimensions, and chakras. So right now we're living in the 3rd dimension or 3rd density, and we're in the transition towards the 4th density or dimension. If you look at this picture, you'll see the pyramid with the 3rd density, the human beings, and how we transcend towards the next level. And you can pause if you want to peacefully read what is there. I will just continue to the next picture. Here you see the chakras. So our awakening process is a move, a shift from the 3rd chakra to the 4th chakra. And this is something you can actually experience. I remember a few years ago, maybe around 2017-ish, I had a time where I felt a lot of sensations in my heart and I was a bit concerned. And when I did some research, it was actually describing the symptoms when your heart chakra opens, as this actually has implications for your body. Our bodies are changing. Then let's take a look at the next picture where you see the law of one talking about the different densities. When you study the law of one, you understand that the first density was the elements, the second density was plant life and animal life, and the 3rd density, that is us. We're still at the very beginning. We are just waking up, which you can see when you look at the world. The awakening process is all about learning to choose from a place of love instead of a place of fear. I'll just give you one example. Let's say you have a job and you don't like your job, but you stay in the job because otherwise you don't get the money. How will I pay my rent? How will I survive? So understand that when you choose from a place of fear, you might actually feel comfortable. We're not happy. We're not experiencing that magic, the juice of life, but we're comfortable. And our journey, the journey of awakening, is a journey where you choose from love. So you say, I'm going to quit my job. Now you got to understand that when you choose from love, you will have to face your fears. So this is a process where you got to move out of the comfort zone. It is about jumping off the cliff. But when you do this, in 2017, when I said, I will not work for money anymore, and I stopped all my activities which I just did to make money. It was scary. I had many sleepless nights. I lost my apartment, but I transitioned into a phase where I'm actually now living at a beautiful place in beautiful nature. And when I transitioned at the end of 2017, in 2018, everything started opening up. Money started coming in the most crazy ways, and the program I had been working on for many years, it started in the year 2000, and in 2018 it started taking off. So again, if we look at the picture, it is all about you becoming more aware, more conscious. And instead of spending a lot of time in these lower vibrations of fear and anger and greed, we start spending more time into the higher vibrations, which revolve all around expressions of love, joy, and peace. Then let's take a look at the next picture. Now we're looking at the awakening process in the context of the ages. So when you look at the picture, you see the red dot on the right side ascending. We have come out of the Iron Age. That is the most darkest time of humanity. And we're learning, we're growing, we're coming out of the madness, which you can see when you look at the world. We're slowly progressing into a more sustainable world. We are in the Bronze Age. And as you can see, around 4100 CE, we're moving into the Silver Age, and then later into the Golden Age. And how you can understand this if you think about our solar system. If you look at this picture, you see the sun on the left. It's moving in an ellipse. And as we move with our solar system through the galaxy, every time we move into a new age, we are exposed to a different energy, and this energy is awakening us at the next level. And in this picture, you see the Hindu cycle of civilization. The same thing you see in red letters. We are here, 2017, we're still here, the Bronze Age, from 1600 to 4100. In this picture, you see again our solar system moving in this ellipse. And on the right side, you see the Sirius system also moving in the ellipse. You see the different ages, and again you're seeing that we have just entered the Bronze Age. Let's take a look at the picture. I've chosen the picture for its visuals, not for the text, and let me make a few points on the text. Top left you see a safe location, and when we talk about a safe location, it implies that there are also locations which are not safe. As you're watching this documentary and you have done your homework, then you will be aware that there is a group of people who has been controlling our planet for thousands of years, and that we are currently in the transition of letting go of this control system. These people are known under many names: cabal, deep state. I mostly use the term rich elite. They're also known as the banksters, royal families, and they are very smart. They use the education system, entertainment world, and the media to bring information to us where they twist the truth. What truth? First of all, the truth of who you are. Most of us are programmed strongly as that is part of the third dimension, the third density, where we are programmed in a state of egoic consciousness, duality consciousness, or separation consciousness. In this state of consciousness, we are identified with our thoughts and our bodies. But I am here to tell you that is not who you are. You are so much more. We're in a transition towards the fourth density, where we start living more heart-centered, where we transcend, overcome that identification with body and thought. So who are you truly? I'm gonna say it in different ways. You pick the words you are most comfortable with. You are eternal spirit, eternal consciousness, eternal experience. You are an eternal being, or part of an eternal being. Meaning that fear of death is an illusion. I admit it is a stubborn, persistent, annoying illusion, but it is an illusion nonetheless. The rich elite is very good at pushing your fear of death button. Where do they do that? Through a virus, through wars, terrorism, through weather. Probably by now you have figured out that the whole climate change was a hoax, a scam by the rich elite. Pollution is there and we have to deal with that. However, pollution is not the cause of climate change. This twist fits very well in the egoic consciousness, and the ego can be very arrogant, saying we are so powerful, we are causing the planetary weather to change. Incorrect. We do not have the power. This power is only coming from cosmic effects. Think about the sun. Think about the energies our Earth and our solar system is exposed to. So what is happening is that with our solar system, you can see it at the picture a little bit towards the right of the center. In white letters you see you are here, solar system. So the solar system is moving around the center of the galaxy, and as we move in different areas have different energies, and that is governing our evolution. This governance is coming from an intelligence. Now, depending on your belief systems, you can call this intelligence God or the Creator. Or maybe you're more comfortable with the words universe, life, or nature. The intelligence of the universe, the intelligence of life. Understand that these are just labels. You pick the labels you are comfortable with. We are moving through different spaces, and that is defining our evolution. If you start placing your identity properly that you are eternal, then you transcend your fear of death, and the rich elite, our controllers, cannot manipulate you anymore. This is obviously very important in our awakening process. A very simple way is to remember that any news, any information that comes to you, if it makes you fearful, if it makes you uncomfortable, I'm here to remind you that that is the manipulation, that is the illusion, that is the Maya. Nothing real can threaten you. Nothing unreal exists. And herein you can find your peace. So climate change has been used by the rich elite. Why? They made carbon dioxide the enemy. It is not. They said we need a carbon tax, and that will need to be enforced by a global entity. And there they have their step towards the one world government, a dictatorial, like a dictatorship. It's not good. The good news is that so many people, millions and millions of people, have already awakened to this, and this is not going to happen. And that's why they shifted gears towards the coronavirus. Also, this is not happening. Too many people understand what has been going on, and we are in a beautiful transition. I only have good news for you. We are awakening, and we are moving out of all these control systems, and we are at the dawn, at the verge of a sustainable world. It's going to take some time, and systems need to be slowly dismantled, but we're moving towards a more fairer money system. And as consciousness keeps rising, as we keep moving with our solar system, we are awakened more and more, and will remember our birthright. This is our planet. All the goodies on the planet are ours, and we deserve abundance. That is the world we are moving into.